wisdom and courage. These two qualities consistently show up as the most important across all of the warrior traditions. Wisdom is the ability to see things clearly, not how we want them or expect them to be, but how they actually are. And then to use this information to make the most effective choice in the moment. We usually think of wisdom as a static quality, something we acquire through life experience. But wisdom also involves clear, objective apprehension of what's happening right now. This second component of wisdom can't be planned. It's only available to us when we pay attention, moment by moment. Skillful action informed by wisdom only emerges from an accurate appraisal of this unique situation in this exact moment, and then acting on it. As a lineage of Chinese warriors who together wrote as Sun Tzu put it, these are the victories of the military lineage. They cannot be transmitted in advance. Courage is the ability to stay present with any experience, even something extremely difficult, without needing for it to be different. We usually think of courage as the ability to move forward, physically or metaphorically, despite obstacles, in order to make things different from the way they are right now. The best image maybe that people think of, or the most common image that people think of about courage, is terrified troops that are hungry and dirty and exhausted, and they're flying, they're moving forward on the battlefield with bullets whizzing around them. The warrior tradition's definition of courage isn't incompatible with this image. But their definition acknowledges that before we can successfully act to make reality different, first, we must willingly submit to seeing clearly and allowing reality to be exactly as it already is. Otherwise, we may waste effort and energy trying to change aspects of reality that are actually beyond our control. So, first, we must be able to see and tolerate the situation just as it is, before we can choose to make it different. The reason why all warrior traditions have practices to train both wisdom and courage is that wisdom and courage support and reinforce each other. We need both to fully access either one. And together, wisdom and courage help us access agency so that we can act ethically and effectively, even in the worst situations imaginable. We usually think about our character as fixed, but the warrior traditions show us that character isn't fixed. It's something we can strengthen through training and consistent practice. As I've said, MFIT follows in this lineage of warrior traditions. In MFIT, we cultivate wisdom by training attentional control, the ability to direct and sustain our attention deliberately on a chosen target object over time. Attentional control is a micro-manifestation of wisdom, moment by moment. And we cultivate courage by training tolerance for challenging experience, which is the ability to pay attention to, track, and stay present with any experience without needing for it to be different. Tolerance for challenging experience is this micro-manifestation of courage, moment by moment. Challenging experiences, to be clear, can be external, can be harsh environmental conditions or challenging people. But challenging experiences can also be internal, with physical pain or intense emotions, distressing thoughts or nightmares or flashbacks. To be clear, tolerance for challenging experience is not the same thing as sucking it up. Sucking it up is actually a very subtle form of override, which means we're not fully present and available to all the information in the current situation. MFIT pairs mindfulness skills training with skills for regulating the autonomic nervous system and the body so that we can widen our windows. With a wider window, we're more likely to keep our capacity for ethical and effective decision making online, even during stress. With a wider window, we're also more likely to access agency, even during extreme situations, and that helps us avoid experiencing trauma. Before we close, I'd like to summarize the top takeaways from this segment. Like all warrior traditions, MFIT teaches consistent practices to hone self-discipline and self-mastery. These skills and qualities are fungible, meaning we can apply them in any situation in our lives. Specifically, we will be training attentional control and tolerance for challenging experience, which are the micro manifestations of wisdom and courage, moment by moment. Perhaps the most important domain general skill we will be training in MFIT is attentional control. And the reason why is because where we direct our attention really matters. In fact, where we direct our attention, consciously and unconsciously, has profound ripple effects on our brain, nervous system, and body. With MFIT, you can learn to direct your attention with more precision. And by developing attentional control, we can deploy our attention consciously where we want. Attentional control is a foundational skill that supports enhanced situational awareness, better decision-making, better self-regulation and resilience, and ultimately, better performance. Doing this will not only help us widen our windows, it will help us learn to embody wisdom and courage and access agency in every aspect of our lives.